defensively in that midfield spot, and that's great work from picks up the ball, but picks up a foul. Smith. And Reese now with her first action on the ball, but BYU how many goal scorers here for this BYU team? Be goals for this team, but a couple other players Brecken Mozingo, another five. We can see why.
Yes, all those goal scorers is definitely
what she can do, and
exactly. I think any ball in the air, BYU is dangerous, especially down. No easy push in the back.
BYU plays short. Good step and a win there from the Pilots. And Ash's ball forward. Can't quite connect with Sawan, and BYU now will look to get restarted through Smith. This is Olivia Smith. Good work from her to try to keep it, but her ball in is won by Denninger, who then turns it over on the throw-in.
Just in the first 8 minutes, you can see that BYU really looks for that quick restart. You never really know if they're going to go short or long, and that's hard to defend. So the Pilots will really have to be paying attention and be aware.
So we see, I think Shepard there, right there, gets the shot, but it's a deflection. Right away, what BYU has done through the middle part of this field is they're playing the ball quickly, and they get the receiver on the pass is getting a good touch forward and looking for to kind of break those lines through the dribble, draw players in, and then dish. So Portland really going to have to close down the Cougars a little bit earlier to prevent that big first touch that gets them into that aggressive dribble. Katembo wins the corner from Olivia Wade. Ball gets cleared out for a BYU throw-in. Good turn there from Shepard. Charlotte's now looking to just try to get something going here. I think, DJ, as you said, got to start to look to move the ball quickly right now. Just a little bit too much time on the ball. Heads are going up after the first touch and not before. Looking for those options.
Approach halfway line and then they start to press, and so into the second half.
Yeah, you can see Sawan really kind of playing the high lone striker role defensively with Katembo and Reese, and Collier just kind of in behind her there. Vaca. Extremely aggressive on the dribble. Portland clears it out, but it falls to Coulihan, who lets one go, but is blocked by Walker. It seems like maybe the tactic here from French is to slide Walker inside and give her the kind of the sole assignment of marking Coulihan. You can see there as Coulihan lays the ball off. Walker. Interesting choice here from Michelle French.
I was thinking the same. I think it's smart, though. I think of players that any coach can rely on. That's a compliment to her skill and French's trust in her and saying, hey, I need you to mark the most dangerous player on the field, and Ellie just does it.
The other thing I like about that is that it does free up Matthijs to kind of pick up the pieces in there, in and around that center of the park, which she is very good at, and allows Matthijs to continue to play to her strengths and not necessarily kind of have to continue to try to chase Coulihan in and around that forward line.
Yes, I think having Ellie on Coulihan really forces Coulihan to have to play her teammates versus looking to score those goals herself. So if they're able to take, her shot away, Ellie's done.
Steps. Looks like it's Gabby.
I think it's Matthijs.
Oh, it's Matthijs.
Yeah, hopefully she's okay. She plays a vital role on this team, so hopefully not. So hopefully.
Tough one. Doesn't look like she's in too much pain, but definitely knows that something is an issue. Enough to get the athletic trainer. Michelle French, what are you telling your team right now?
I think they need to look to play a bit quicker, connect a few more passes. They're really sitting in and playing more defensively right now. I'd love to see, the transition quickly once they win the ball to try and catch that BYU back line. Not as aware to give Nadia a chance to get in behind and get those players behind her, Katembo, Reese, Brummett, Collier, all in behind to help support her go to goal.
We see Matthijs will walk off the field, give herself a little jog. Looks like she's going to stay in. Nobody getting warmed up for her right now. So she'll go to the halfway line and check back in. Need work it in there somewhere, Deej.
Once a game.
What makes Northern California so gritty? You just have to be just a little bit tougher than they are.
Exactly. I think that everyone thinks, when they think California, they think beaches and Southern California, but
sure,
Northern California is a whole nother beast.
I know. Here's Katembo off the goal kick. Does well to keep it there. Finds Matthijs. Matthijs does a great job to get it back, but is fouled there by, I think that was Tucker. Quick restart for the Pilots. Out through Brummett. Ash has to do a bit of work to catch up to it. It's Portland now with numbers forward, really spreading the field. I think this is where offensively they're going to gain a lot of ground. I think, as you said, is just trying to spread the field wide. BYU is a very compact and direct team, and so you see as they come in, they don't get super wide. So I think maybe part of the game plan here for Portland is to get some width in attack and really stretch them wide to make it harder for them to counter. And by them, I mean the Cougars.
I think that's extremely important, especially with them playing a 3-back. It'll be really important for outside mids, Reese, Katembo, Collier to really get up on the weak side so that they can find the switch before that back roll.
This is Wade and Matthijs. Wade puts a ball into the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Adams.
Matthijs doing well there to disrupt. She's that annoying player we talked about earlier in the season, which is such a compliment to her for those of you that are listening to me for the first time.
Ball gets played in. A little easy there to find feet in the box for BYU, but Shea Adams right there to close it down and disrupt and clear out.
Yes, a bit closer and definitely tighter in their final third, especially against a strong Cougar offensive line.
It's that double-edged sword, though, right, DJ? Because we talked about just how strong BYU is on free kicks with the number of people who can take a free kick. Is that, you know, when you go in close and you go in tight, and especially in kind of the wet, slippy weather like it is right now, there's always that chance that you're going to foul and create another dangerous scoring opportunity. This is Smith going at Reese, the two number 2s. Denninger comes in late on the challenge, but doesn't foul. It'll be Portland throw-in.
Yes, you really have to hope the refs are on your side. Understanding the wet weather.
Sawan loses it to Wade. Wade now on the dribble across the field, but broken up by Brummett. And now the Pilots are on a counter. Katembo slips it through to Sawan. Sawan, her head goes up as that ball goes through. She knew as soon as that ball came off Katembo's feet that she just probably wasn't going to quite get to it. Long ball forward, looking for Tucker. Tucker and Adams battling for it near the Portland end line. Tucker now with space to dribble. Cuts Adams, gets to the end line, cuts it across. But it'll be a BYU corner kick.
Adams doing well there to win that first ball. I think what's important, especially on a night like tonight, is knowing that, especially with the wet conditions, it's okay to just clear the ball out and reset.
Yeah.
We don't need you to try and keep possession there.
Nobody needs a hero.
Be a pessimist. When I was learning to play center back, that's what I was told. Be a pessimist.
That's right. What does that mean to you?
You just have to assume the worst is going to happen and be prepared.
Yeah, always be a pessimist when you're defending. Assume that your teammate's going to get beat and you've got to get behind them. Assume that player's going to get the cross off. Assume the worst when you're on offense. When you're attacking, then you know your teammate's going to get that cross off. You got to make your run. Because you know good things are going to happen. North's free kick goes up to Matai. Sedan. Here is Tucker. Good little move out of trouble there, out to Brummett, but Brummett doesn't quite check her shoulder. And I think that was Mozingo coming over to take the ball off her. Portland does well getting their lineup there. As I think that was, is that Tucker who was offside? Yeah.
I think what...
Wondering why I'm squinting, DJ. You know why I'm squinting?
Oh, I forgot to remind you about your glasses.
I know. Luckily, I brought them. Put them on. Perfect.
I missed an opportunity to...
Tucker finds Coulihan. Coulihan now back out to Tucker. Tucker looking for an opportunity. Another one to get in there, but her ball goes all the way across, and it'll be a Portland goal kick.
You know, as much as the Pilots want to show Tucker outside, I think they need to pick up that every time she gets the ball, she acts like she's going to go left. She takes it right, tries to drive end line and get that cross across the goal. So if they can force her to go with her left, they may be a little bit more successful in getting that ball back.
Tucker now one-on-one, slices it across the goal under pressure from Denninger, but referee will say that went off probably Denninger's shin guard and out for a goal kick. So right now, all BYU's offense coming through Tucker. Just as DJ said, just kind of getting the ball on the inside, running to the outside, and looking for that cutback or opportunity. BYU short corner is well defended by the Pilots, and it'll be another BYU corner.
Yeah, the Pilots in this formation, they do well to really clog the middle, which forces BYU to have to go wide because that's where the space is. And that just happens to be where Tucker is.
What a chance. Mozingo's ball goes straight into the heart of the penalty area. And it looked like that was Johnson who just got up and headed it straight down. Hard enough that the ball bounced from the header straight over the crossbar. So we see Eliana Wong coming into the game for Gabby Brummett. Good decisions from her. Shea Adams tries to play that big crossfield ball to Wong. Just doesn't. Wong just does it out pretty quickly, but Portland will regroup through Adams. Goes out to Ash.
Maybe not. He's fairly safe and just a little chippy.
Boriga looking to cross,
in order to
and that will
catch
sail
this
over
BYU team
nice head forward.
Off is to really play 1-2 touches, not take so many touches. They'll have to play a bit quicker.
So we just saw there, really good movement from the Pilots across the middle, and Denninger gets it, has a lot of open space. BYU players come in and flood that space and again just clog that passing lane. See BYU very compact through the middle right now. It's a good turn from Walker. Finds Collier through. Collier gets on the end of it. Now it's Lucina.
Again, Loris not handling cleanly.
Lucina going up against Peterson.
Yeah, and the formation the Vikings are in today is
Peterson just gets a foot on it, turns and clears it, and now Walker under pressure.
Players up top for North Park
and that's a handball.
With Holm playing as the center
to really win that ball and then toe poke it off,
of the
off BYU's arm.
So a dangerous position here for the Pilots. Only the one shot for them so far. That was the first one of the game we saw in the opening minutes. BYU has reeled off 9 since then. So Portland looking to create something a little bit more in the attacking side of the field.
It's one of those things too. You look at who Chris Grahn has stationed out there, and you're always looking at that holding mid position and expecting to see Ulrich Lund back there. Of course, he's injured at the moment. But Gustav Eriksson's
that's Matthijs with the rifle from her left foot.
No matter where you put him,
I think a lot of people were expecting that ball to get lofted in the box, and she goes ahead and says, "Why not? I'm gonna test Smith.
do a great job.
See what we got."
He's just an all-rounder.
Yeah, I think that's a smart hit by Matthijs, especially with, again, the rain and the water. You never know. Maybe the ball could slip through her hands and end up in the back of the net.
Certainly. Cassidy Smith has only given up 11 goals this season. She has a .79 goals against average. The team in front of her certainly not making the shots easy for the opposing teams, but yeah, I like that decision from Matthijs just to keep Smith honest and let her know that she's looking at these opportunities when they come up.
About the other player that the Vikings have from Ascot, England.
Pilots clear the corner.
Newcomer freshman Isaac.
I understand what UP is doing defensively. However, it makes it a bit harder, especially in instances like that where they look to clear the ball and they have nobody up top to be able to challenge and make it harder for BYU to counter back at them.
I'd also love to ask.
You saw Reese go down there under a little bit of pressure. Yeah, DJ, it's kind of what Portland has to do to say, okay, how long can we try to stay in this game and look for the opportunity to counter, as we see Coulihan with a shot there.
Another reason.
And Wong finally clears it out. Like you said, don't try to keep it there, just clear it out. Because the more numbers you get up the field, as you talked about in the open, BYU is a very fast, aggressive, physical team, and is very dangerous on the counter for teams that are struggles to get back, maybe don't have quite that same level of athleticism. So it's a really fine line to walk in terms of the numbers you put forward, because the more you commit forward, they got to get back as soon as your team turns the ball over.
And we're going to have a push in the back called on the Vikings.
So we see now Reese has switched places with
Hawks are going
Sawan,
to
so you
get
can maybe see a little bit of the strategy here.
Free kick from 30 yards out.
BYU plays another ball into the
shallow
box.
left wing. Backed up a yard by the referee.
High header from Adams, I believe that was, leads to a shot, but Norris is up to the task.
Number 7.
Keeps the game
Number
level
8,
at 0.
rather. Kevin.
So Sawan now playing in behind Reese. Reese playing that high forward, so probably giving Sawan a little bit of a break from running things down.
Actually, that
Let
one was going
Reese do it
wide
now,
right,
but now put Sawan in behind
came
Reese
out
now.
and grabbed
I
it.
think as you were talking about, a little bit more
And that's a smart thing
options
to do,
in the
Scott,
counter.
because there's always
Lucchino
the
wins the
chance
ball
that
there.
somebody could go wide and head that one back in.
Yeah, exactly. Their target was the far post there. They were trying to find a big body there just to either slap it
Wade.
back on goal or slap it kind of back in the mixer and leave
Now Vaca.
Sward out there on the far post with no chance to save it. That was a great ball forward.
BYU now it's a little bit more patience, not as many dribble.
It's not just about saves. That's not going to go down as a save for
Dribbling
Sward,
through the
but that
lines,
is
looking to
gonna
play the ball
be
now
a
and
good
spread
piece
it a
of
little
film
bit
for the
more.
coach to look at and say, okay, you did the right thing there. Come out, gobble up that ball, make sure no more danger can come from it.
Carroll.
Tucker now
working
up
his
against
way forward.
Denninger.
Carroll.
Dishes off, and Matthijs
Go out.
comes through on the tackle. Now it's Coulihan looking for her shot.
4.
Walker blocks.
Well done by Walker, doing exactly what she's supposed to do. Just completely shut Coulihan down, and she's working hard to get that done.
Here's Coulihan again.
For the Vikings.
Wade, all into the box.
Looked like a nice break for Lundin. Couldn't get
Norris
anything out of
comes and claims it
For
before
Lundin,
Moore
couldn't get
can.
And Bariga set. Coming back to recover it.
You know, like you explained earlier, BYU is very
Volin to recover
compact.
and knock it away from Clancy.
So I'd really like to see the pilots, when they have the ball, get it from one way and switch it to go the other way quickly, because that's where the space is. That's what BYU is giving them.
Yeah, that was an
Shepard on
outstanding
about a
play.
40-yard dribble, dishes it through to Moore, but Moore's cross
Freshman.
is cut out by Collier, who does well to recover there.
Backline mate, as
Stop
we have
that
a foul
quick
called on the
BYU counter.
Duhawks.
Smith out to
Yeah,
Wade.
a couple
Good defending there from Lucchina.
tackles
Just
on Bariga.
disrupts Shepard there and forces BYU back. Vaca.
Either hit
out
that
to
ball
Peterson.
or you allow a really tough situation for your goal. Tough situation for your fire. Made the play on it.
Hall knocking it forward. Sampson taking it away.
Sawan
Ball is
just tries to pop the ball up
knocked
for
down by Erickson.
Reese,
Bariga on the
but
near
it's
wing.
Johnson who comes through
Bariga
for it.
working in on Sampson. Passes it
Now,
out to Holm. Holm with a
Smith.
shot, and it's
Wade will try to get it
blocked by
going again on the near
defense.
sideline.
Erickson recovers. Valen switching over to Riesnes. On the near
Norris
side,
clears it out of bounds as we'll get
There you
our first BYU substitutions.
marking him.
Number
Ball into the
33
middle.
and number 22
And,
coming in.
Olsen will have to give it back.
So that's Rachel McCarthy
Vikings back line.
and Bella Folino on. They're replacing
Hold up.
Olivia Wade and number 3,
Carroll.
McKaylee Moore.
Erickson back. To DeCaro. On the far side. That's Fagnani. Back to Holm. Holm will dribble forward.
And with that
Given the
switch, it looks
space.
like Mozingo
This
is
is
going to
Erickson.
switch
Erickson.
sides for the Cougars coming
Getting
to
it
this
back for
near
Holm.
sideline.
Go out on the wing. Lundin looking
Where
in, and a
Wade
header will go. Peter Olsen will go out, and apparently it touched the Duhawk. So the
Long ball
Duhawk,
through.
So the Bariga.
McCarthy tries to
And
chase it
another header
down.
attempt by Olsen. Olsen go out on the far side, and Lundin will throw it. Riesnes Vikings always looking
So
to
Portland
switch.
doing a fair bit of defending. And through the first 30 minutes, as we see Coulihan now with her first dangerous opportunity, and her cutback goes to Bella Folino. Excuse me, goes to McCarthy.
Wide.
And that's a goal for Rachel McCarthy.
On the,
her fourth goal of the season puts the Cougars up 1-0 in the 32nd minute. As we see there, Coulihan splits both Matthijs and Denninger and gets that ball across and through. And this is probably the story of BYU. They are able to thread the most impossible needles. You see Coulihan dance through two players there. Her pass goes through two players there. And then McCarthy is there in the middle of three players and somehow manages to get the ball from Coulihan and put it in the back of the net for the Cougars. It's Coulihan's 13th assist of the season.
He's holding up play. He's talking with the linesman.
So Portland,
I mean,
with all the work to do here,
they're saying goal.
It is a goal.
That
was just a casual send from 30 yards out. A parabola
so they don't get stuck
up and over the keeper. Krasinski.
DeCaro on it.
Yeah, DeCaro clearly not attempting to get it. He was just trying to get a send in there.
He was almost facing the other way when he hit that ball.
Denninger's throwing to Reese. Ends up skipping up
Krasinski
to French.
just got tramped on that one.
For Sawan.
Yeah,
it bounced right in front of the goal line.
That's strong work
so the
there from
1-0.
Portland captain. Earns a corner kick from it.
Half.
This is a great opportunity here for Portland.
Yeah, Krasinski was stuck in a sticky situation, and wow, is that tough.
Fired coming off his line.
It's going to be Lucina to take it.
Beat the on-rushing Sampson to the ball for William DeCaro. That is his second goal of the year, I believe.
Yeah, and what a great job by the center ref to just stop play. If you're not sure of it, stop play. You have teammates. And the linesman has a better angle on that to see whether it went over the goal line. And the linesman said, you know, I have basically you're in a situation where you need to say, clearly I could see that over the goal line. And the linesman said he could see it clearly over the goal line. He wasn't right on top of it, but he had a pretty good view of it. We'll probably stop and take a look at the replay at halftime to see what our view of it was. But once it gets over the keeper there, he wasn't that far off the goal line, so you have to think it got all the way over the goal line. I
wonder how they do it, but you can just see how suffocating they are in attack. They are actually out-shooting their opponents.
As that shot.
Let me do some quick math here and say that it's 404 shots to 151.
DeCaro adding to the tally that he had
percentage. That means that they attack, and it's just so relentless that, as we've seen here through the first half an hour of this matchup, it's so hard for opponents to get anything going forward. But it can be done. Santa Clara, who Portland beat 2-0 a few weeks ago, upended BYU last weekend 1-0. So there are opportunities there for the Pilots.
I don't even. I'm still wrapping my brain around that goal.
Yeah, because we didn't see the initial signal from the ref, and they kept playing, which is what you're supposed to do. But it certainly looked like
throw the ball in here.
It made the net rustle.
Not sure what the holdup was, but now
on the near side, Sampson
get us started again.
Oh, and that
Adams.
That send into the box, that would have
doesn't quite get the zip on that ball and nearly cut out by the
header
Cougars.
Opportunity for Patrick Clancy, but he's unable to get to it. And he had a secondary player coming up on the far flank. Didn't see who that is.
Now out to Folino. But Ash cuts it out, does a nice job. Turns it out to Collier, and Portland just needs to keep the ball here and get
Kevin
get some passes through to get them out of this defensive third.
Is also in the vicinity with an opportunity.
There we go. Ugh. Walker does well just to try to get something from it. Ends up harassing Mozingo into turning it over, but now we're going to see a yellow card.
I guess Mondragon unable to get it
tactical foul
forward. But
I think probably a little handful of jersey there as
possessing at the edge of the
Mozingo
box.
went through, and referee definitely wants Ellie Walker to come over to him.
We're going to have offsides called on the Dewhawks.
I'm not sure I'd give that a yellow. Definitely
coming at the Vikings with a lot of
She hasn't necessarily had a ton of harsh
North
fouls.
Park
If you
took
see
their
her
time
there,
on
she just
that
has the
celebration
jersey
once.
tuck. And,
I mean, the goal call.
You know, we've been watching
the
Ellie
center
a
ref
lot,
had to
and
take
that's
his time to
I
make
mean,
that
it's
goal
right in
call.
front of the referee,
So
but
North
it's
Park kind of milked every second of the celebration. They did a full dog pile, and then Dakar did a little bit of an extra dance, some version of a Macarena on top of it. And I'm sure if I was in a purple jersey right now, and I had to wait at the midfield line after a goal that I initially didn't think was a goal, I wouldn't be very happy, and I would really be throwing the bus right now at North Park, and that's exactly what you're seeing from the Dewhawks.
I'm just not going to really give DJ an opportunity to talk about referees tonight.
I'm all for the players.
Laura's hanging back a little now as the long ball sent into the far corner. Lundeen, he'll get
Number
there.
16, Kendall Peterson came out of the game. Zoe Jacobs comes on as we get another BYU corner.
As Barriga picks it up. And here comes DeCaro. DeCaro will reverse and give it back to Barriga. Sampson right on top of him, so DeCaro has it.
Portland setting up in his own. Nobody marking kind of man-to-man here, so
far side, tried heading
just get the short corner to Coulihan. Coulihan will dribble in.
Get it cleanly.
Dishes off to Tucker. Tucker's ball in.
This will be a goal kick for
is defended.
It's something I didn't really even think about until now. Until I just saw that
Collier
cross.
will prevent the cross. Well done from those two.
The shortest players on the field are fullbacks or left backs and right backs.
That's Soph. Actually, sorry, that was Soph French out there. My apologies.
Lundeen playing a wing over there. If you've ever matched up with a header against one of those, fullbacks, usually a left back that he'll be seeing. I mean, the left back here, he towers over him, got a head on him. So that's something to look at when Christopher Grant's trying to look at matchups he can get and exploit with Lundeen.
That ref looks familiar.
Lundeen, he's sending the ball forward. Knapp will settle it.
Just as we saw, I think that was Mozingo who was kind of trying to dance through there and just kind of looked like she lost her balance going through a few players, but the referee will call a foul, and it's Coulihan. The dangerous part about these free kicks is that, yes, they're close. The difficult part about it is that if you're going to get a good chance on frame, you've got to get the ball up and over the wall. It has to go up and down, which is very hard to do from this distance, is to get that ball up over the wall and then down on frame.
Pesky Sampson giving it to DeCaro. DeCaro shot! It's in!
Very central. Gives her a few
I think it was DeCaro's shot. There was a follow-up by Knapp, but I think the signal had already been given as William DeCaro scores his second goal of the half, and the Vikings lead 2-0.
Wow, that shot. I mean, as soon as.
But I also thought it was because I wasn't afraid to get hit in the face.
That's also a good component of a good wall person.
You know who I really enjoyed being in a wall with was Haley DeGrood.
Oh, man, she will take all of it. Coulihan goes low and wide. The wall does its job. Norris does her job. And that chance ends up coming to nothing. Fantastic. Just what you want if you're a Portland player. You see that wall. Not a lot of shooting space there, and Norris had it well covered. So, again, good work with her and communicating exactly what she needed that wall to do. Tucker now. Goes through to Callahan, but Walker's on it. I feel like we picked some good players to spotlight tonight with Walker drawing the defensive duties against Coulihan. Mozingo now against Wong. Ash up against Foligno, just knocks it out of bounds. Foligno cuts it, tries to get it out, but it's offside before she could even get to it on the end line, and it'll be a free kick for Norris. High and wide clearance. Thought we might see that one go perhaps to the Child Center, but it stays in the field. And BYU gets their 9th corner of the game. So Portland really doing a good job defending wide, denying these opportunities for BYU. It means they're giving up a lot of corner kicks while they do it. So just have to make sure that they're paying attention to their assignments here.
It's a double-edged sword, like you said earlier. They're doing so well defensively, but because of that, they end up giving up corners, which are very dangerous set pieces.
Yeah. Coulihan now dishes it off to Tucker. Tucker's first time shot ends up going wide. Tice heads it on. It's French and Lucina, but Tice ultimately end up getting it out to Collier. Collier's got to play quickly though. One and two touch, as you said, DJ. Got Eliana Wong right here on this near touch line, all but forgotten by Mozingo until about 3 seconds ago. You see Walker making a big run into the penalty area. Here's Wong. Tice has got a man on her. Gives herself some space from Tucker and plays a nice ball into the penalty area that Reese just can't quite seem to collect and get down, but it's Collier now on the far side of the field. Can she get this ball across? She had Reese, she had French, and she had Wong in there. Portland looking for some signs of offensive life here in these last minutes of the first half. Portland's going to make a sub here last couple minutes of this game. Collier coming off the far side of the field. Oh, nope, it's not going to be Collier. It's going to be Reese coming off and Aubrey Turner coming into the game. Wong goes into that high tip of the spear, I guess, attacking position, would you say, DJ?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. Aubrey Turner now is going to play wide on this near side. Lucina gets around her man, gets her shot in there, and it's collected by Smith. She'll play it short out to Olivia Smith. Had to double check which Smith I was talking about. Cameron Turner now going up against Adams. Cameron Turner looking to get across the end line, but cuts it out, and now Shea Adams clears it. Turner clears it again, and now it's going to be Wong to try to just chase something down here. It's good. Wong, she's done a good job since she checked in to this game.
Yeah, no, she's done well. Something that's extremely important as that top player is you really want to try and keep the ball to one side. So really not allow the defenders to move the ball side to side, but force them one way, and that'll help the team control which direction the BYU goes. Sorry.
No, it's well said. I think you just kind of you were right there in it. So that's the end of the half. Number 12 BYU 1, Portland 0. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with some halftime stats, maybe some highlights. We don't know. We'll see. But enjoy the break.
Out shooting the Pilots 15-4. That just goes to their aggression and how they put numbers forward and really want to attack. 9 corners to 1. 2 fouls versus 5. To me, that's the Pilots really trying to look for an answer. They're having to do a lot of defending. So hopefully this half we'll get a couple more shots. And by a couple, I mean a lot. And a few more corners.
45 minutes left for the Pilots to get a goal. What kind of changes, or what would you say that Coach Michelle French would want to have instructed her team to do at halftime?
I really think playing urgently versus frantically. A lot of younger players seem to get that confused. By urgent, it doesn't mean we want you to go out there and completely just kill it. We need to just act like, hey, we're playing a game, let's get the ball moving. Less touches, more movement off the ball. As we mentioned earlier, BYU plays really compact, so they leave part of the field wide open. So if the Pilots can find that quick switch, they'll be able to get those players open down the flank and running towards goal.
So we get ready to kick things off. I did check a few halftime scores at halftime. Gonzaga currently over USF 2-0. Santa Clara beating Loyola Marymount 4-0. And St. Mary's over USD 2-0. A lot to play for this weekend. If tonight's results hold, Santa Clara and BYU will go to number 1, tied with 21 points. St. Mary's will go into third with 14 points, and then Gonzaga will come up and tie Portland. Gonzaga will come up and tie Portland in fourth. Man, math is not. I've just looked at all my chicken scratch trying to math out the results for this weekend, and I couldn't do it. It's just a lot. So tune in this weekend. Lots to happen in the WCC. Portland looking to get some energy at the start of this half. Brummett looks to play long to Reese. But it's Johnson who ends up winning it out to Vaca. I think that just is right there, DJ, what you had just talked about is kind of urgently versus frantically. Portland wins the ball there and just kind of plays the ball up, not really looking to be precise or to unbalance the BYU team, just trying to get that ball forward urgently, or not urgently, frantically.
Yeah, I think there, Matthijs BYU was giving her time and space, so if anything, I would have loved to see her take a couple of touches forward at least before she played that ball.
McCarthy plays in, well saved from Norris. That was Foligno with a nice little redirect into the back post, and Norris just gets her fingertips to it. So we can see Foligno again just slices right through a couple of different players there, and Norris reads it all the way. Turner now plays out to Wong, but Vaca there to win, just try to place, but sorry, that was Reese, excuse me. Reese just dispossesses her. No penalty there from the referee. Several people around us disagree with the lack of call there, and I'd have to see it on replay, but I can't say I disagree with that. DJ? We're still on your referee moratorium. I get it.
You know, no, I do think that was a foul. That was definitely a goal-scoring opportunity, and she was taken out from behind clearly with him right there. So how it wasn't called, I'll never understand referees, but.
You and Michelle French both. Wonderful ball from Reese. But so at halftime, probably going to the studs. We missed our educational talk on cleats a few weeks ago. Too bad, we're not going to repeat it.
It's definitely a studs night, period.
Here's the call here. Reese does a really good job to dispossess, and Vaca comes through, and I'm not sure how that's not a call. I am a very kind person to the referees. As we see the ball come through there, usually give them the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like I've earned the right as a commentator to look at that and say that should have been a penalty. No doubt.
Yeah,
DJ?
Well, disrupt that shot.
Good job. Change tracks. Love it. Collier. Back up to Sawan. Can Sawan keep it in here? Yep. I have a feeling that clip might end up in the hands of the WCC officials review.
To give UP a PK if they were to overturn it? Or do they just count a goal?
No, it'll just be a review that makes the entire coaching staff and team very upset. I've had to prepare and submit some of those clips from time to time myself, so hopefully that's a learning experience, but very unfortunate. It has to come at the expense of Taryn Reese there. Reese flicks on to Sawan, but broken up by Johnson. Finds Sawan again, and again, linesman, assistant referee on the near side is
needs to do a better job of recognizing when to go and seeing when BYU is stepping their lineup.
Yeah, Vaca and Johnson doing a really nice job of staying together when they do that and recognizing when they can press up and pull Sawan into that offside position. You see Camille Ash, the throw in deep in Pilot territory. So we see Turner there, dispossessed from behind by Olivia Wade, and BYU wants the handball on Turner from a few moments ago, but I don't know if that's...
Here at San Diego.
Ash's ball forward, cut out by Peterson. Jeez, now Wade. Coulihan. Shepard cuts Sawan and then has room to slots it through for her teammate, but Collier picks it off. Just a little bit of that frantic versus urgent. Ball in for Reese. Reese marked pretty heavily there between Vaca and Johnson, and that allows Cassidy. Reese tries to come up. And ends up with Wade, and now we're going. Tice. Nicely done to find Ash there. Now Turner. Turner's got to play quickly. Ball cut out by around Ash all the way. Either way, both players there. As we see Lino's knee, and Emily Collier so upset with herself, just can't get that one up and away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's definitely a defender's worst nightmare, is with these wet conditions, the Collier there and a Brigham Young
behind Michaela Coulihan and Cameron Tucker. With Turner in front, opts for the early cross in. Coulihan now. Collects it again and It's Walker now going against Houlihan with Denninger. Collier ends up clearing it out wide. Up on that and get a dangerous chance. Here is Peterson again now. All offense right now coming through Peterson. Looks like right now it's kind of up to her. She's really of course got to the end line and got that late ball in for Foligno to get. Late ball in for Foligno. Juan, excuse me. It's Wade. It's all through. Sorry, that's, excuse me, Wade on the assist. It's excuse me, Wade on the assist with another one. Assist from Wade. Not a lot there for the Pilot defense to do. Pulls the ball. BYU does a nice job to pull the ball across the field. Wade gets it and then slips it back through to Foligno.
Forward, essentially. Looks to clear out, and they're able to go straight to goal.
Not sure what the delay was there, but the referee had stopped the clock to address some issue. Again, no idea what, but play resumed. The goal for Portland now is to get something out of this game and get into just needs to make sure that they keep trying. Norris ends up getting that ball. It's probably a cross, not a shot, but Norris is there nonetheless. No shots since the start of the second half. Like 6 at this point.
I think
things will get interesting. On top of the conference with their win today, but as I mentioned, if BYU and for number 1, so Pepperdine with a lot to play for. Santa Clara will play St. Mary's. Tie for first with 24 points, but Santa Clara will get the conference automatic bid, having beaten BYU head-to-head. I was trying to do all this math at halftime, DJ, and I went. Johnson now. Chena doesn't quite get there. It'll be a BYU throw-in. Pair of subs coming on for Portland. Gabby Brummett and Sophie French.
really makes you wonder if that PK was called.
That's a game changer for sure, isn't it? Portland has not been shut out in the WCC since their first game against Pepperdine. They lost 3-0 to them. 3-0. Pretty finely, had to get through some pretty tight spaces for that goal to happen, for that goal done, which has probably been the most disciplined we've seen them. Off the field, and Vaca coming on. Davinia. Her first touches of the game, gets across in. Turner can't quite get to that one, and it'll be a Cougar throw-in. Turner in the middle of three pilots, manages to get through them, but it's Shea Adams who finally dispossesses her. And French just puts it into the stands. Vaca. It's Foligno giving chase, but now it's Vaca. Another sub for BYU. She'll is able to clip it out of bounds. Houlihan now. Johnson plays out to Vaca. BYU now seeing a pretty good amount of the ball right now. We've got 4 people on the front line, BYU right now. It's 3-0, and they're doing everything they can to attack. Wade, her ball cut out by Brummett, and Turner just can't quite to connect back, and now we see Cameron Turner now for BYU, centers it into the box. Mon can't quite, Norris will collect. Camille Ash makes out to Collier.
What'll help the Pilots is really connecting their passes defensively and just unable to connect those passes to
passing and passing connections, and right now Portland I don't think they're being either. I think they're just trying to without thinking about what's going to happen if a teammate doesn't get it.
I'd love to see a formation just help Katembo keep the ball up top. You know, it's a lot to ask of a forward to go 1v3 50 yards to goal.
And right now BYU's doing a pretty good job of keeping that distance. You look at the distance between Walker and Katembo when they're in possession, or Walker or Collier and Katembo, who are their next closest midfielders, and it's a solid 20 yards. That's you want to be closer than that. You want to be at least 15 when you're trying to get into the attack and start to create some of these quick 1-2s that are going to allow you to get through the lines and Peterson plays in, and Wade turns it and crosses in, but ultimately Vaca plays out to Johnson. Johnson goes to Coulihan. Coulihan earns another corner. Will stand out on the ball. Might play short with Foligno. Shea Adams defending here. Walker in behind her. Defense, but can't quite clip it in there. And Peterson ends up subs coming onto the game. Sarah Kowak and number 5, Brecken Mozingo, coming onto the field for BYU. It's Ash and Matthijs who will get a break for the Pilots. Cameron Turner now just slips through Coulihan. Portland does just enough to get a good shot. In terms of Portland's objective, they certainly have limited Coulihan tonight, but just as we've seen with Nedia Sawan and Taryn Reese,
there are a handful of players on the BYU side that have multiple goals, and it's great goals. It's hard defensively to really keep them out.
To the field for here, and of course Rita Fullerton and Kulanguski Cougars end up winning it back. Here's Vaca. There's Turner. Her ball. DJ, you called it. You thought Walker might score tonight, and
that just shows you, you know, she's willing to pull the trigger and wants to score a goal to help get her.
With Turner. So we see another pair of subs for the Cougars, number 6 and number 15, Zoe Jacobs, coming onto the field, and it's Cameron Turner getting her first, nope, sorry, Peterson, man, these numbers. Kendall Peterson getting her first break of the evening, and okay. Rita does a nice job to keep the ball alive. Nice job to keep the ball. Brummett now finds Katembo. Katembo does get on the end of it, gets a ball across, and closed there by Turner. Turner just blocked that clearance out and ends up creating another opportunity for Cassidy Smith to make a save. This is Zoe J. and an engine for the Cougars tonight. Mozingo. McKaylee Moore comes back on the field for the Cougars. Goes, and now Cameron Turner comes off, gets her first break of the game, and it's really put in a strong 77 minutes really for head coach Jennifer Rockwood.
She gave the Pilots a lot of trouble during her time on the field.
Rockwood is among the longest tenured coaches in the WCC with Jerry Smith and Tim Ward. She's been the only coach for this BYU team, DJ. Did you know that? Has been the only head coach.
I was 1 year old.
Gosh, you in high school.
My mom.
Brummett out to Collier. Walker now finds Katembo. Can Katembo get on the end of it? Yes, she can. Does a great job to get on the end of that, get that separation. Sydney Kulinkuski now coming onto the field for Aubrey Turner. BYU now making a change on that is
Collier.
row. It's the cleats. I really look at the cleats and I barely pay attention.
It does make it hard when they all have to.
First action of the game, Collier getting a break. Plays all the way up, but it's Shea Adams who wins it for. Wonderful ball in from Ashton Johnson to Moore. Moore just kind of can't quite keep a hold of it and plays it back to Johnson. We'll see another sub for the Pilots. It's Hannah McCord now coming in for Nyota Katembo. Really enjoyed watching Nyota Katembo. I think this, DJ, I think this will. I really have enjoyed watching a lot of these newcomers and even this team as a whole really push and develop over the course of the year. I think Katembo's done a really admirable job coming in when she did, as she has, and it's been fun to watch her just get better and more savvy with each game.
You know, I completely agree. It's refreshing, especially as an alum, to see the program that you once played for, and you know, of course, some challenging years, but they're really on the up and up, and each year since French has been in charge, they've gotten better, and so it's exciting for the future and to see, you know, what's to come.
We have 9 seniors that will be leaving the program, and as I mentioned, Gulanguski and Collier do have another year of eligibility, but not sure what is going to happen with them. And I know that we have certainly enjoyed watching players, the players, you know, Shea Adams, Soph Matthijs, as we see on the ball right here, Colby Wilson. I mean, so many players have just worked so hard. Kaylee Togiai, we know, will come back and be fit to go next season. Nyota Katembo. So many of them have just been so fun to watch and just see grow more confident and more strong in their position in the program every week. So for the Cougars, we've got Tara Warner, Addie Gardner, and Brooke Hale coming onto the field for the last 5 minutes. They'll replace Jamie Shepard and both Lavini Vaca and Davinia Vaca. So you see Jamie Rita now there for the Pilots.
I could never play on a team with a sibling.
It's because all the siblings closest in age to you are your brothers. It's a good ball in for Walker. Walker plays out to Rowe, and they'll earn free kick right there on the edge of the penalty area.
Close to a PK, I guess.
I think, DJ, for me, the game-defining moment was that that play and the lack of the call thereof. I think, as we said, it was 1-0 at the time, and you mentioned seemed to definitely turn the tides at that point.
You know, all it takes is one to completely give a team confidence, especially when you have spent a majority of the game defending. So
Eligibility. Shea Adams, a junior but a sophomore in eligibility, so it'll be interesting to see what a lot of these players opt to do in the coming years. Kind of a hiccup year. BYU now with their 15th corner kick of the game.
yeah, that COVID year has definitely made things interesting.
Portland just doing everything they can to get the ball out, but it's Addie Gardner with that late shot, just clips the ball wide. How's it been for the community college kids, DJ, trying to look to get the ones that want to go on potentially to play at another level beyond? come back onto the field for Sarah.
My name is Ariel, and I just started my first job as a project manager. When I was a student, I'd write long essays that I'd work on for days, but now I'm writing short emails and messages all day, every day.
Possession, and kind of final thoughts from us that Portland will have one more game this weekend against Pacific down at Stockton, but your thoughts?
Yeah, I think overall not a bad nothing to hang their heads about this season. They played well and for the years to come.
Absolutely. Well, it's